Hi there everyone! Welcome back to TLE with Teacher T, making life easy. My goal is to teach you lessons and skills that can change your life for the better. So, in today's episode, I will be teaching you how to communicate effectively in English. Not a grade 10 student? Don't worry. Anyone who is open to learning is welcome as we discover ways to make life easy. In the previous episode, we talked about personal entrepreneurial competencies. The personal entrepreneurial competencies are the following: hardworking, confident, disciplined, committed, adaptable or have the ability to accept change, creative, has initiative, profit-oriented, excellent planner, possesses people skills, and sound decision maker. I hope that you still remember that you need to develop these competencies so that when opportunity knocks, you can grab it and make the most of it. I would like to repeat what Dean Pax Lapid said in the book How to Turn Your Passion into Profit, that luck is the offspring of preparedness and opportunity. With this in mind, we can be sure that we all can be lucky because we know what to do, and that is to prepare. Developing your personal entrepreneurial competency is the first step, but there is so much more that you will need to be a well-rounded contact center employee. You need to develop your communication skills in English, both in written and in spoken media. Communicating effectively in English will be easy if you understand the following concepts and principles: communication pathways, elements of communication, barriers to communication, oral and listening skills, grammar, writing skills, voice and accent, and communication cues. Too many things to learn, right? You bet. But hey, don't worry, we will make it easy. We will learn it the way we would eat an elephant. It will be just one bite at a time. So today, we will only focus on learning the communication pathways and the element of communication. The subsequent episodes will still be dedicated to improving your communication skills in English. If you were like, I can read and write in English, but it's really difficult for me to speak and to listen to native speakers. Well, majority of us Filipinos do share this sentiment. Although we are accustomed to reading and writing because that's what we are asked to do often in school, speaking and listening to native speakers is something that we are not as used to. However, if we were to reverse the practice from reading and writing to listening and speaking from now on, it's not too far-fetched to assume that you will be good at all four foundational skills of language learning. To communicate effectively in English, you should be adept at all four foundational skills. There are so many ways to improve in all these skills, like watching your DepEd TV lessons, writing down notes, then sharing what you have learned with your peers or family members using the English language, of course. Yes, it might seem both odd and awkward at first, but you'll get used to it and will be a source of fun at home and with your friends. You will have to intentionally do those practices because you want to be a good and effective English communicator. Because more often than not, contact center service providers communicate verbally. Verbal communication in contact centers occurs in phone or in person. In this type of communication, the message is transmitted verbally. So, it is a must that you remember the acronym KISS. KISS in verbal communication is not the romantic act that most of you are thinking of right now. Rather, it stands for Keep It Short and Simple. Let me cite an example of how to make a statement short and simple from your grade 10 learning module. Compare these two statements. Statement A: I understand that you lost the receipt, but we have to follow the standard procedure regarding the return of items without a receipt. Statement B: I understand your concern. However, we have procedures to follow regarding the matter. Both statements contain the same message. However, Statement B conveys the message in a simpler and more concise way. You can do this by listening attentively to your client so that you don't have to repeat what your client already stated. You see, in the given example, statement B eliminated the loss of receipt by using concern instead, and the return of items without receipt by using matter. One more tip to keep your statement short and simple is to avoid using synonymous words in a sentence. For example, Joe opened an envelope that contains a document inside. What are the synonymous words or the words that have the same meaning in this sentence? Yes, contains and inside mean the same in the sentence. So we have to eliminate one of them in the sentence. Simply put, Joe opened an envelope with a document inside. Or, Joe opened an envelope that contains a document. It sounds better, right? Yes, it is shorter, yet it conveys the meaning well. Another tip is to avoid the unnecessary use of intensifiers, like very and really. Use stronger adjectives instead, as shown in this example. Our staff is very accommodating, so you are sure to have a really good stay. Change this sentence by omitting the intensifiers and replacing the original adjectives with the stronger adjectives. Our staff is hospitable, so you are sure to have a great stay. See, by just a couple of minor tweaks, you can communicate in a phenomenal way. By the way, phenomenal is a synonymous with very good. Doing this is a very effective practice to improve your vocabulary. It will also make your conversations really interesting. Oops! Very effective and really interesting? I should have used powerful instead of very effective and captivating or engaging instead of very interesting. Again, doing this is a powerful practice to improve your vocabulary and make your conversations engaging. Have you written down notes so that you can review and share how to kiss? Exciting, right? I know you feel like you have something to do with your free time. Try listening to a native speaker, be it on YouTube, podcast, or on Netflix. Just make sure you can pause it when you need to write what is said. Then you look for synonymous words and intensifiers and eliminate them by applying the tips on how to kiss, or keep it short and simple. Hey, some of you have not written anything. Don't you just sit there? Come on, grab your pen and paper before it's too late. Don't you get lazy? Because if you want to be a great contact center agent, you must be able to communicate through writing as well. You will encounter written communication in the form of printed messages, memos, proposals, training manuals, company policies, and letters. Working in a contact center will require you to be also adept at writing emails as a medium of communication. So, writing down notes today using your own words or paraphrasing is a great practice. Let me draw a personal experience where practice made the difference. When I worked as a contact center agent in 2018, I wasn't that ready for the task since it was my first BPO job. But I drew the courage to handle the calls and send emails from my years of working in a non-profit organization, where I developed my speaking and writing skills. As I presented and sent weekly reports to my leader, my habit of daily journal writing helped me as well. A contact center job can be stressful because you will have to deal with people's concern and a lot of complaints. And you can't afford to have the additional stress of not having the necessary skills you need to do your job well. I am grateful that I got to practice those skills early on. That is why I keep encouraging you to practice now so that your life will be easy someday. Let us simplify the communication pathway. Your primary communication pathway is from agent to customer. In this pathway, you will be maximizing the use of oral communication, since most of your customers are located offshore. Nevertheless, you are not limited to this pathway. Communicating with people around you is also part of your job. You communicate in oral or written form, via printed messages, emails, memos, proposals, with your supervisors, peers, and subordinates. That was a loud siren. There must be some emergency out there. Have you noticed that I paused? Why did I pause? Because you wouldn't have heard me if I continued talking, because that noise is louder than my voice. Actually, Noise is part of our next topic, the elements of communication. Communication is a process that involves different elements which affect message transmission and message quality. Try to recall the last time you communicated with another person. Here is the unlabeled illustration of the communication process. Try to fill it in with your idea of the elements included in the process. Here's the filled out illustration. Communication is a process where the message is packaged, channeled, and conveyed by a sender through a certain medium. It is a process in the sense that the steps have to be done in a particular order. The communication process has the following elements. Number 1, message. The message is the most essential part of the communication process. It may come in different forms such as a letter, a phone call, a video presentation, like this one you are watching right now. It can also be an email or a face-to-face interaction. A message should be carefully crafted by the sender by using good grammar and the proper choice of words to ensure that the receiver understood the information he or she received in the way that you intended it to be received. In a contact center, you may be required to deal with messages in the form of an order, your new schedule, and a coworker's request. Number 2, sender. The sender initiates the communication. He or she decides what message to send and in what medium the message will be sent in. It is the job of the sender to encode the message. In doing so, the sender should always keep in mind an understanding of who the receiver is to make the information more relevant and appropriate. Number 3, transmission medium. The transmission medium is the immediate form in which the message is being communicated in. It may be communicated in the form of a letter or an email as well as a voice call. Number 4, recipient. The recipient or the receiver is the party to whom you send the message to. He or she is the one who interprets the message. The recipient or receiver may not necessarily be an individual person. A recipient may also be a group of people such as an audience. Number 5, noise. Anything that interferes with the communication process between the sender and the recipient is called noise. Noise, sometimes called interference, may change the meaning of the message sent. There are times when the message is not received exactly the way the sender intends it to be. The presence of noise in all aspects of communications makes it impossible for a message to always be received the way you intended it to be. Noise can either be external or internal. External noise refers to the physical environment, like the loud siren earlier. Another external noise is your physiological condition, like when you have headache or when you are sleepy during a meeting. While internal noise includes psychological noise. An example of psychological noise is the divided attention of a recipient, like when you are tempted to answer a message from your crush during your online class. Number 6, feedback. Feedback refers to the response or reaction of the receivers to the sender's message. It is essential in communication so that the sender will know whether the message is understood the way it is intended to be. Number 7, context. Context is the personal background of the communicators or the background of a communicative situation that may affect the transmission of message. For example, 1. Gender preference. 2. Race. 3. Religious beliefs. 4. Educational attainment. 5. During a crisis. 6. During a fight. The level of the sender's and receiver's understanding of the context or background of a communicative situation can either help or hinder understanding. It is your duty as a contact center agent to study and understand your client's background. Like here in the Philippines, Filipinos often greet foreigners who are white with a "Hey Joe," just to call their attention. But Americans may find this greeting annoying, and you may be perceived as someone who is just messing with them. So, be careful when you are initiating small talk to make your client comfortable. Considering my goal for you to be able to communicate effectively in English, I want you to draw knowledge from what we have discussed today to do this practice. Make this statement short and simple by using your thesaurus or your dictionary to eliminate intensifiers and by eliminating synonymous words.
Number 1. Sir, we would like to increase your credit limit because of your very good payment record. Time's up. We can replace very good with excellent or outstanding. The KISS version is, Sir, we would like to increase your credit limit because of your excellent payment record. Number 2. Thank you for paying your interest plus in addition to your principal balance. Time's up. We can eliminate either plus or addition because they are synonymous words. The KISS version is thank you for paying your interest plus your principal balance or thank you for paying your principal balance and additional interest. Number 3. Your durable medical equipment will be delivered at 12 noon tomorrow. Time's up. We can eliminate 12 in this case. So the KISS version is your durable medical equipment will be delivered at noon tomorrow. Number 4. To summarize your order briefly, you just want a really soft padding for your wheelchair. Time's up. We would eliminate the word briefly since the meaning will be the same without it, and we can change really soft by looking up the dictionary for alternative adjective like fluffy. So you would say to summarize your order, you just want a flappy padding for your wheelchair. Number 5. Could you repeat your credit card's last 4-digit numbers again for verification? Time's up. We will eliminate the word again. The KISS version should be could you repeat your credit card last 4-digit numbers for verification?
And that's it for how to KISS practice. You may want to evaluate your understanding by identifying which part you do not understand yet. Let me just tell you that nothing is impossible to learn if you put your heart into it. You can re-practice by applying the principle of KISS when you're writing in your journal or diary. But if you want to level up, try applying it in your speaking situation as well. Say, in your next online presentation or in vlog. There is always a way to improve if you will do it deliberately. Before I send you off, would you mind testing your knowledge about the elements of communication? This task is found in your module for TLE 10, Contact Center Services on page 51. All you have to do is to identify the elements of communication described in each number. Choose your answer from the pool of words inside the box. Do this on a sheet of paper.
Number 1. It is the communication background that may affect the transmission of message. Time's up. Number 2. It is the person to whom the message is intended for. Time's up. Number 3. It is the immediate form which the message is transmitted in. Time's up. Number 4. It is how the receiver understands and responds to the information he received. Time's up. Number 5. It is the person who initiates the communication. Time's up. Number 6. It can be anything that interferes with the communication process. Time's up. Let's check your answers. Number 1 is context. It is the communication background that may affect the transmission of message. Number 2 is recipient, the person to whom the message is intended for. Number 3 is medium, the immediate form which the message is transmitted in. Number 4 is feedback. It is how the receiver understands and responds to the information he received. Number 5 is sender, the person who initiates the communication. Number 6 is noise. Noise is anything that interferes with the communication process.
If you got all items correctly, you did a great job! I am delighted to have helped you learn about communication pathways and the elements of communication. We also discuss and practice how to kiss, or keep it short and simple, so you can carry on with improving your English communication skills. In the next episode, we will learn more about how to communicate effectively in English. This has been Teacher T with TLE, making life easy.